So, in my life, I've had to endure abusive parents, deal with being taught only to comply and be controlled, endure older abusive siblings, be poor for most of my life, deal with undiagnosed ADHD through childhood in a system that saw a problem child, be put under the shame spotlight by my parents, teachers and family every time I did something wrong, deal with too many failed interpersonal relationships, girlfriends, women, learn how to keep myself under control, learn to not follow every one of 1,000 impulses that I get every day, struggle socially because I can't keep myself under control. I've become chronically hyper independent because I can't rely on anyone else. Been told 1,000 times, if only you'd try harder, Robert. I've had to contain my emotions so that other people feel safe. I can't speak because I'm passionate. Suffered delayed grief because there's no time or permission to process the pain when it happened. I overshare chronically to the point where I drive people away. I'm constantly self-monitoring because as a child my mistakes were punished harshly and quickly. I have a low tolerance for incompetence or hypocrisy because I paid for mine in blood. Whenever I was incompetent or hypocrisy, I was caned, literally caned. I have a tiny social group. I suffered role for confusion throughout my childhood. I just didn't know who I was. I've been cast as difficult when you set boundaries because compliance was expected from me and everyone else. Can't fall to a wobble because no one is going to catch me. No one is there to catch me if I fall. I am on my own. I had my trauma used against me as misbehaviour repeatedly. Suffer success without witness. Wins land flat because no one cares if I win or lose. That's part of being a man, unfortunately. My pain and suffering being treated as a character flaw, not as an injury. I've been chronically misread by people, mistaking my passion and intensity for aggression. I've actually been hit because of that. Taken responsibility for things because no one else will. I've had to learn how to manage my own money. Now I've actually started making a bit of money. I've become overly sensitive and hyper-vigilant to avoid parental and sibling violence. Have been and still are an emotional orphan. No one cares about a man with emotions. Absolutely no one cares about a man that has actual emotions. I trust no one because everyone has let me down. My identity formed late after having to survive in a system that couldn't handle me. I attached to people far too quickly, just far too quickly and far too deeply. And once I'm attached, I can't let go. I can't even rest for a few hours without feeling like I've let someone down or let myself down. People rely on me, then desert me when they've got what they want from me. I've developed standards of behaviour. I've been so harsh on myself that I've developed standards of behaviour that basically isolate me from so many other people. Having my identity as a child being developed around being wrong, not being different. I was a wrong 'un. When I was at school, I was a wrong 'un. As a man, I can't express anger in any way, shape or form without it being seen as a threat. My struggle is unseen and my rewards aren't worth the effort. I have been and still am carrying more weight in one day than any one person reading this or watching this could potentially manage in a lifetime. I've had to deal with being called abusive so that those people could avoid looking at themselves. I've had to deal with being pathologised instead of being understood. I've had to deal with being told I'm wrong instead of being loved or brought closer. I've had blame inversion tricks played on me by the people I was supposed to trust, repeatedly. I've lost trust in my reality because my reality has been reframed over and over and over again. And I apply self-discipline on a day-to-day basis that most people couldn't even imagine. I've had to suppress my needs over and over for decades just to be accepted, just to survive in childhood, just to get on with my other half, just to get on with the people. Literally beaten into silence by the British education system. 3 names here: Mr. Ramsey, Sir William Nottage School; Mr. Clark, Sir William Nottage School. Mr. Jenner, Lower Halstow Primary School. No diagnosis, no language, no explanation, just you're a bad person. Being compared constantly to normal children. I learnt very early that mistakes are dangerous, very dangerous. I had to develop impulse control through fear of being beaten and attacked, not through guidance. And being blamed for reactions to provocations throughout childhood and right into adulthood. When someone provokes me, I struggle to not react to it. And I've done all of this, and I've had to put up with all of this with no external support whatsoever. Every time I said I was struggling, this is the thing that hurts the most. Every time I said I was struggling, it was treated as an inconvenience, avoided, minimised or joked about, or worse, invalidated. Yet, the brighter side of the story, I still became a functioning adult. I learned to lead without being dominant. I learned to be strong without being cruel. I learned to set boundaries without being angry. I learned to love so deeply that it hurts so badly when I lose that love. I learned to manage conflict openly and calmly. I've learned self-control without being controlled. I've learned responsibility without being parented. I learned kindness without being softened. And I learned ethics without being rewarded for them. Not because a system helped me, not because people protected me, but because I refuse to allow all of this to beat me. That's it for today.